Hello one and all, thank you very much for joining me in this video. This is Hybrid Steel and we're here to find another car for our restoration garage. Now the downside is that I don't know what car it is, you guys do because you've seen the thumbnail. Hope you guys enjoyed that, by the way. So we're back in the desert. Now I've done a job between sort of like videos. And basically because of that we've got a little bit of extra money to play with. We're probably looking at in a region of our budget to buy a car now is around about 30 grand. So if we do find something we like for 30,000, it's all good. So I'm basically using the profits from any cars that I make other than the ones you're seeing on the screens, basically to go off and buy new cars. So without further ado, let's go find ourselves another rust banger that we can turn into a Riches Mobile. So let's get it on. Straight away we come up with something like this. This is gorgeous, but we haven't got the engine for it. Now by the way, the reason why it says dummy is just purely because I don't have the DLC for that engine. For all you 4x4 mad people out there, I'm going to be doing a Bronco. That's pretty cool. Alright, so we're going to go off and we're going to buy the Ford Bronco Resto mod. We're going to restore this one back to, back to its glory day and make it just better. We are now the proud owners of a Ford. Okay, so the Ford Bronco made it back to the garage all in one piece. Thankfully, nothing fell off of it on transit. We're all good. We're going to put this up onto the lift. I'm going to take apart the whole car and then we're going to rebuild it from scratch. Thankfully, by the powers of editing and all the other stuff that we do here, you guys won't have to put up with too much of this stuff. So, without further ado, let's get it on, shall we? Alright, so the first thing that we're going to be focusing on is the bodywork. As you can see, I've got my valeting machine ready and I've got my welder ready, or I'm going to call it a sandblaster because it gets rid of all the rust and makes the job look better. So we're going to whack all this together now. So we're going to clean the interior up. As you can tell, it's all nice and shiny now, and we can put that back. And then we come over to here and get this. Oh no, we don't do that. We do that one. And we repair this for the small cost of $1,000. But as you can tell, the car is beautifully remade. Look at this. Look at all this. And this is what I like about like modified cars in this game as well. You get all like the engine bits that are just connected to make it all look a bit more solid, which is quite cool. It's a real good attention to detail, which is awesome. And so yeah, now what we're going to do is we're going to put all the bits and pieces back on the bottom of this first. So all the wheels, the axles and everything else. So by the powers of me, let's get this going now. We're going to work away from back to front. Okay, so now we're going to put everything back on this car. I'm hoping we bought everything and this won't be too much of a hard job. And obviously at the moment we're just going to focus on putting the axles and all the like undercarriage parts back together. So we've got the fuel tank and we've got a fuel pump, but I did forget to buy the exhaust, so we're going to have to go and get that in a minute. And literally the thing that we've got to do is just put everything back together. So, the plus side to the PC version, again, over the console, I've got to be honest, there's a lot more to do in this game than there is on the console. Even though I'm a console advocate, I love playing on the console. It's just easier and nicer for me at least, because I've been playing it for 30 odd years now, like console gaming. But yeah, playing a game like this on a PC it definitely has the upsides to it. The fact there is just a ton more to do, and price wise it's a lot cheaper. Now, I only play certain games on the PC. Rest of the time I do spend my time on a console, but I think for this channel and for the way that everything's going to be going, I think the PC may be a little bit more of an investment for me than anything else when it comes to my time. The downside to this is I'm fairly poor, and so upgrades will come whenever I can afford them, unfortunately. Unless somebody wins the lottery and wants to sponsor the channel, I don't see that happening very soon. So, but you never know. I mean, it's worth sort of pondering, just in case someone actually does ever do that for us. It would be most appreciated. But, you know, no, don't feel any pressure. Don't go out and buy lottery tickets just because I want money. But that's the thing that I'm sort of going for. I think over time I'm going to have to definitely sort of like buck up my ideas and get a way of earning. But at the moment it's just really difficult because of the circumstance we find ourselves in. So now we're putting in the axles. We're going to put together everything in the brake side of things on this side of the car. Tis all good. Right. And then before we put the wheel on, I always use the wheel as like the case of I've just finished that section, don't do any more to it, that sort of thing. So that's sort of where I'm going for with the wheel. I don't put it on until I'm finished one side. So I just make sure that everything's on and bolted. Put that bushing in, it's all good. Right, and now we've done everything on this side of the suspension, we can put a wheel back in. So we went with the same size rims, we went with the same size everything. We just changed the rim a little bit just to give it a little bit more of a meaner stance, really. I mean, it is a Bronco. It does need a little bit of an attitude adjustment, so you can't really go wrong with like pure black rims, can you? There's the brake drum. I'm pretty sure we've done everything. It's all good. All right. We've got to put the fuel tank and the fuel pump back in first before we sort of think about doing anything else over here. Plus side is we don't really need to use a cross member, so if we can go down to the front we can put all this together as well. And this shouldn't be too bad. So hopefully, with the powers of being able to try and find everything I could before like my brain decided to give up, we should find all the bits for this car. We should have them all as well, which would be awesome. Like I've done these before, where I mean this was on the Jeep Willys. They have these rings on the back of the knuckles as well. And at one point when I first started playing this, I couldn't for the life of me figure out what was wrong with the car. It wouldn't let me strip anything down. I kept having problems. I went to reset the game. Turns out it was just my stupidity. I didn't know what I was actually doing at the time. And then when I found out, I was just like, oh, you've got to be joking. It was just that one slither of metal that goes behind the knuckles on these cars. And it threw me completely. And when I looked at it, I just went, oh, you stupid. So, yeah, I've sort of learnt to sort of make sure that everything's either attached or detached now. Putting the leaf spring on the front as well. I mean, the plus side to this one over the like other cars that you do is that with this, because it's an old style car. I mean, you've literally just got to do it the old school way. There's no cross member to attach a lot of things to. There's none of that sort of stress of trying to find like one rubber bushing you haven't added to the car or whatever. And at the end of the day, it's nice to have that as like a headache that doesn't exist on a car like this. Okay, so that's all the wheels added to the car now, and it's starting to take its shape, isn't it? I mean, aside the engine not being in and none of the furniture inside of the car, I say furniture, it's just seats and crud. But, yeah, I mean, we haven't done the exhaust either, so I'm not sure why I put that down. So what we do is we go shopping for the exhaust now. Okay, so that's the V8 engine built for our Bronco. Now, we're not going to put it in just yet. What we need to do is we need to get all the panels for this car, and unfortunately that's well, we've got to try and find them. So I'm going to go and surf the internet. Hopefully we'll try and find some parts for this, and I'll be right back here in just a second. Go into the list, look at all the parts. Everything's on the car aside the engine. So let's get the engine off, and then let's just drag it over, shall we? So that is the engine all rebuilt and everything else, and that's amazing. Let's get this back on. It's a bit hard when you do this car because it comes with a sort of like an undercarriage shield that I couldn't see properly. That might just be because it was a modded thing, but you know, unfortunately it does sort of get in the way just a little bit. It's all good. Let's get the housing back in. That's alright, and then there are 4 clips on the air filter we haven't put on, so we'll get those done now. Right, that should be everything. 99%. What am I missing? A small rubber bushing. Oh, you have got to be joking. So we've missed a rubber bushing off of one of the suspension mounts. It's not that one. It's got to be. No, it's not that one. There it is. That's the one we're missing. This one. This one right here. That one. Oh my god. Oh, that's just. You cannot make this up, can you? Right, okay. It's all good in the hood. It really is. Okay, so let's wheel this into paint and let's get this painted. Now, I'm not sure what colour we're going to go for. I think we'll just choose a random one and just go with the flow. Okay, that will do. Okay, so now this is something that I always do just to make sure that the engine's performing okay, the car can work, and all the other McGubbins that we do for these things. So the one thing that I'm doing is I'm going to go and test it. We have to test the car to make sure that the engine's all good. So let's run the test, shall we? That's a good sound. 410 brake horsepower, brand new engine put in, it's all right. So when they say that this car's done like 100,000 miles, this has done none, because the engine itself is brand new, pretty much the car is brand new, and everything on it is brand new. Okay, so let's talk about what we did. We added a brand new set of 18-inch rims, some brand new off-road tyres. We basically took the whole car apart and added an entirely new interior to this car. We had brand new windows, new chassis, new everything. We even took the block apart, built it all back together, and it now runs smooth, as you saw by the dyno test. So the only thing I've got left to do is say this has been a pleasure to build. Now we get to say goodbye. It goes on to a brand new owner, and here we go. So the new owner is going to be off, and he is going to be paying us $78,336. That's not bad for a car that only cost us a couple of grand. So I want to say thank you very much for joining me. This has been Hybrid Steel. If you have liked these videos, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button below for all other updates. And I'll be back here with another one of these restoration projects so we can all get on and be happy that we're building something new out of old rust to riches. So peace out, have fun, and enjoy everything you guys do. Bye-bye.